Hello, very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Bahrain Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. Lewis Hamilton mastered the tyres and held off the pacey Dutchman to win the opener at Bahrain. And this is a regular feature on the channel. After the race, we cover all 20 drivers. We rate them out of 10 for their weekend. We give a detailed view on their weekend and no favoritism on the ratings. And let's start. Lewis Hamilton, 10. People say he can only win in the best car. He had the second best car all weekend. And P2 quali, a real fight is on for the Formula 1 fans. World class win. Second best car, great tyre stint. And once again, proves the haters wrong. And it was a masterful win by Hamilton. Yeah, special driver. Valtteri Bottas, 6. Now, yep, I say it how I see it. P3 in quali, P3 in the race, and again, he really went missing in the race. Of course, he had a poor pit stop, but he was never really in the fight for the win anyway, so another standard weekend for Valtteri Bottas. He literally just is a number 2, isn't he? But, I mean, it is what it is. We've seen it year after year now. Max, 10. Fastest in all sessions. I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. Dominated the weekend. Fastest in practice 1, 2, 3. Got pole position by a dominant 0.388. Dominated all weekend. He will be absolutely gutted that he's not won the race. He was simply the quickest guy out there. He made no mistakes. It's 10 out of 10. Of course, he did pass Lewis Hamilton late on, but it's clear as day, as you can see on the photo, that he's all 4 wheels out. He gave the lead back to Lewis, couldn't get the job done. It's going to be, obviously we've got 3 weeks off now, it's going to test Max's mental side. Of course, he's a phenomenal driver, but that's going to mentally test him because he should have won the race. Sergio Perez, 8. Now, I was only going to give him 6, but I'll give him 8 after a great recovery drive in the race. But it was a bit up and down weekend for Perez. I mean, a big shock in qualifying as he gets knocked out, qualifies 11th. Then on the formation lap, his steering wheel shut off. He had to start from the pit lane, and in the race, he does what Sergio Perez does. Comes through the field, great overtakes, great tyre management. I mean, it was brilliant by Sergio Perez, and he ended up, let me just check, P5, wasn't it? Yeah, P5. I think Red Bull will be fine with Sergio Perez. I mean, he's a very good driver, very underrated. Carlos Sainz, 6. Now, that probably seems a bit low to some, but like I say, I give an honest rating. I mean, it was a standard weekend. His first weekend for Ferrari, it was good. No mistakes. He qualified 8th and finished 8th. So, yeah, I mean, he didn't exactly set the world on fire. He was very cautious on lap 1. Wanted to bring the car home. But yeah, I would only give him 6. Charles Leclerc, 8. Big spin in FP3 at turn 3. We saw many of that this weekend. Amazing qualifying. He qualifies P4 and finishes P6 in the race. He is a bit of a Bahrain specialist, is Charles Leclerc. And much better performance by Ferrari. Sebastian Vettel. Oh, Sebastian. 1 out of 10. Absolutely 1 out of 10. Stand by it 100%. An absolute horror debut for Aston Martin. Not only does he qualify P18, he then on Sunday gets a grid penalty for yellow flag infringements. And then we see another huge error in the race. He was trying the one stop. He rammed the back of Esteban Ocon, a bit like what he did to Max at Silverstone. It's another huge mistake by Sebastian Vettel. Of course, it is only his first race, but wheel to wheel, he's just lost. He can't go wheel to wheel with anyone. He got a 10-second penalty, justified, onto Imola for Sebastian. Lance Stroll 7, P10 in the race, P10 in quali, beat Sebastian Vettel all weekend. I thought Lance Stroll did a very solid job. Lando Norris 8, P7 in quali, would have been absolutely gutted to be out-qualified by Ricciardo, but in the race he absolutely shone and got P4. My driver of the day. He was so aggressive on lap 1. He did the Lando Norris special where he goes round the outside at turn 4. He's a very good driver, is Lando Norris, and great wheel-to-wheel action with his teammate on lap 1. Ricciardo 8, out-qualified Lando Norris on debut. He gets P7 in the race. Solid debut by Ricciardo and great wheel-to-wheel action on lap 1 with his teammate. Pierre Gasly 5. He went from hero to zero. A special qualifying by Gasly, who is another Bahrain specialist. He qualified P5, but in the race made a huge mistake as he clipped the back of the McLaren and damaged his wing, and then his race was absolutely done and dusted. He was just basically going round hoping for a safety car. It never came. They retired the car late on, probably just saving mileage. Where are we? Yuki Sonoda 9. Now, I was actually disappointed with Yuki Sonoda in qualifying, as he only qualified P13, but in the race he shone. I mean, it's his debut and he scored 2 points, 9th place, and he really does look an exciting talent. Really excited to see what Sonoda can do. I give him a 9. That's outstanding. A rookie. He scores 2 points. He probably deserves a 10, in fact, but I can't give him 10 because his quali was poor. Mick Schumacher 5. Standard weekend for Mick. He beat Mazepin all weekend. He did have a spin early on in the race, but he's in for a long season as that Haas car is dreadful. Yeah. Nikita Mazepin 1. I mean, literally all weekend he just spun. He had a great test, Nikita Mazepin, but when it came to the crunch of the weekend, he spun. He spun twice in the middle sector in practice. One at turn 3 in the race, one at turn 1. I mean, it was a poor weekend. P20 in quali. He had a great test, but he was shocking. I mean, was losing the car very easily. And Haas cannot afford retirements. It's bad enough they're the worst car on the grid. They need the mileage. They cannot have mistakes like that. Mazepin puts the power down, loses it. I mean, what's the point? What is the point? Of course, the adrenaline, the race in him, but they're going to be last. They just need the mileage. Russell 5. Again, amazing in qualifying, standard in the race because he's got poor machinery. Out qualifies again his teammate, and he's outperforming the car. P14 in the race for George. Latifi 3. Now I'm beginning to think this guy's not good enough. I mean, he doesn't excite me. He doesn't get a mention, does he? He's just on the grid because he's got a pound note. He never's like, oh wow, look what Latifi does. He's just standard. P17 in quali. Needs to improve in qualifying because he always gets pummeled by Russell. I mean, he never stands out, so it is what it is. Fernando Alonso 7. A very solid comeback after being away for 2 years. Remember, a month ago he had a cycling accident where he broke his jaw, and it was great to see Alonso back. I mean, he had a fantastic qualifying, was my star of quali as he qualified P9. Solid debut, wheel-to-wheel action, but he went through the tyres a bit too much, I think, Alonso, but he still got it, the old dog. And he later retired with rear brakes very hot. Bit of debris got stuck in the brakes. Yeah, I was impressed with Alonso on his return. Esteban Ocon 4. Struggled. did struggle. Ocon, P16 in quali. Yellow flags hampered him with Mazepin and Sainz yellow flags. And then in the race, he got hit by Sebastian Vettel. 100% Vettel's fault. Ends up finishing P13. A make or break season for Esteban Ocon. Then we go to Kimi. Kimi Raikkonen 5. Standard 5. I was impressed with Alfa Romeo's pace, but they didn't score points, so you can't really mark them higher. Kimi Raikkonen did have a spin at turn 3 in practice. And he damaged the car, didn't he, in practice too. Yeah. P14 in quali. He got P11 in the race. Just missed out on the points. And yeah, it was decent by Alfa Romeo, but no points. Giovinazzi 5. Outqualified Kimi. He's really improved. P12. And he finished P12 in the race. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Bahrain Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. Comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts. And now it's set on the channel now. The support has been amazing. And we go. Preview. Look closer at the track. Practice sessions. Qualifying. Race. Driver ratings. That is going to be what we do for the season. So if you want to join me, if you are an F1 fan, subscribe now. Get involved. I've actually gained quite a lot of subscribers over the weekend. So, amazing. Big shout out for the support. And yeah, we keep going. It's kind of really sad now. F1 returns for the first time in ages. We have a great race. We finally get to see a battle at the front. And now we've got to wait 3 weeks to Imola. I mean, 3 weeks? Come on. Oh my God. But I really enjoyed the weekend. Absolutely brilliant to see the fight at the front. Brilliant to see Hamilton win. Brilliant to see Max up there fighting. And F1 is back, baby. Comment down below. Would love to know your thoughts. And there we have it. All 20 drivers covered for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And that wraps up the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a weekend. What a weekend.